Yo, what up? It's Jay Hen. Right now, you're listening.
On Wax the podcast.
On Wax the podcast, right here in San Antonio, Texas. Number one podcast.
I feel like you're drunk, I ain't scared of that. I put it on Chuck. You a bitch ass punk. In the NFL with scares and the type nigga like it's a.
What it do, baby? My next guest, right here from San Antonio, Texas. He is by far one of the absolute most talented artists in the city. I'll put his work up against anybody. He's right next to me. He has full of drip, by the way. What do the kids say nowadays? Aura? Like this dude, he pulled up in the studio and I was like, oh my God, the dude dripping, the guy got aura like a motherfucker, man. You know him on Instagram as Trebla Arts. I know him as Albert Gonzalez. Shout out to my boy, Albert Gonzalez. What it do?
What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up, dude? Man, it's been
Sheesh.
a long time coming to be here, and we're finally here. I'm glad.
You just get off work like that? Is this just regular drip?
Bro, you're the second person to tell me that today. I did a workshop with Alamo College's district.
Yeah.
And I had to go through the story that this
Pull up the mic a little bit.
The unintentional design. And yeah, this is like maybe 3 years worth of paint.
Yeah.
From painting on, paintings throughout my career. And now we see, all these textures and colors.
Oh, beautiful. Like you sell paint. You need to start selling your paints.
Bro, I had someone, I did an event a few years ago in Austin.
Yeah.
And this guy came up to me. He's like, hey, man, how much for your pants? And I was like, well, I'm not going to sell you these, but I could do a custom pair for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, well, how much? I was like, damn, like I couldn't come up with the price off the top of my head. And so I told him, I was like, you know what? You would be the first commission pants. And so let's just say like an even 500. And he was like, what? And I was like, well, you got to think like, it's not just me throwing paint on the pants. Like,
right.
Like this is maybe like 3 to maybe 6 months.
Art.
Yeah.
I mean, art. Yeah.
And so
sure.
I told him, I was like, it's a history of paintings that I've done throughout my career. And so you're going to be wearing, my art.
No, for sure.
And so that was just a number I threw out there. And at least, sometimes or at least as a painter now in my career, because before then, back when I was first getting started, I would have told him, hey, you tell me a number and I'll make them for you. But over time, it's like, okay, like the time and the effort that I'm putting into my work, now when it came to him asking me a question about my pants, it's like, okay, 500 is the number that I'd be happy with. If he would have said, okay, let's do it, I'm all right, bet. Like,
what if he said, come on, 300 right here?
Shit. And I'm like, all right, let's sign an NDA. Sign an NDA and we can't, talk about the competitive pricing.
I feel like you have to carry a spare no matter where you go, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case.
But it was cool because, I hadn't had someone ask me as seriously as he did. And, when I kind of tested the waters with like the pricing, like I said, okay, well, maybe 500 is a little up there, but, kind of figure that out as I move forward. And so like today I had someone at the workshop who was like, hey man, like really like your pants. And in my head, I was kind of thinking about like that past conversation.
The first thing I thought about was, I'm about to go to Vegas, right? Like, can I get the pants,
Well, and then, and then a few years or a year after that, I was in New York and I stumbled into like a little, boutique shop in Soho. It clearly looked like someone was just throwing paint on the pants, and those were like $1,000.
I've seen that type of artwork where like, you just like, and then they sell it.
So I was like, man, like I'm just in the wrong market.
Now, when coming up with the agenda today was pretty neat because everybody, like I said in the intro, everybody knows you as Trebla. Instagram, and we'll get to your story in a bit, but I knew you as Albert. Yeah. I didn't know you as the artist, and I think right next to Jokesters on which streets was that? It was at South Alamo.
Yeah, South Alamo.
And I think like Cesar Chavez or nearby, right next to Bar America. we used to do comedy over there.
Yeah.
And I knew you to sign up on the sign up sheet as Albert Gonzalez, right? So, and I think a block or two from Jokesters, you had a painting on the wall. And I saw that and I didn't even know like how much of a fucking badass you were outside. The comedy was nice. I knew you from there, but like, you're like, oh yeah. I real nonchalant. I got to do some paintings here and there. And like, oh, okay, cool. I got one like a block over. And then you start to realize it's everywhere in the city. Like I can't go anywhere in the city without seeing some of your art. I mean, you have an art exhibit, right? Of some sort.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck?
I do a lot of street art and I do like a lot of like community activations where, I'm just trying to be out there and engaged with the city, if it's doing street art or if it's setting up at a, public place, even a corner of high traffic, I'm always wearing my stuff, my hat, my shirts. And so my approach to it is like, you're going to see my work regardless. And I want it to stick with you.
Like a walking advertisement.
Yeah.
Walking billboard.
Yeah. And so like, if you see me live painting somewhere, if you see one of my murals, when you're able to, meet me or, cross paths with me, and I'm always wearing my stuff. So, it creates that opportunity for people to like be reminded like, oh man, like I saw you live painting over here. And thankfully I'm really happy. And I'm super thankful that it does happen because, I'm able to have some really great conversations with people that I probably normally wouldn't interact with. And so,
yeah.
And all just because I put myself out there in those situations.
Now, for the people listening, we talked about the pants, the shirt. You created the shirt. You're wearing a hat. People can get all of this stuff from your website, right?
Yeah, the hats are in progress. I got the hats on a let's say like a prototype of hats. So I'm still doing like the quality control with the hats and figuring out exactly how I want to approach the production of them. But the shirts are pretty much like down to a T. The beautiful game shirts. It was a design that I kind of came up with at the beginning of the Spurs season. And I knew it was something special. And so I also knew that we were for sure going to the playoffs. And so I didn't want to release that design like too early because I wanted, to
the hype
capture
to build.
that. Yeah. And so instead I waited and I decided to do like this special campaign where I created 40 street art installations based off that design. Mm-hmm. And I kind of put it on social media, had like 8 or 9 volunteers show up to my studio at 4 a.m.
And you documented all of this.
Yeah. My boy, Jay Zuniga, who's an amazing cinematographer. I hired him to like document the whole thing. And he got there at like 3 a.m. with his camera equipment all ready to go. We shot at 4 a.m. He, did an amazing job. We had it all produced and cut. And by 11, it was online. So we finished our shooting by like 8:45, 9 a.m. And by 11:30, he had it edited and cut and ready to post online.
That's
and
crazy.
From there, we're all wearing the shirts, and the shirts kind of like took off from there. Everyone was asking about them.
You had posted several of that art throughout the city.
Mm-hmm.
I did see somebody on TikTok post that they got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy to me because, to be honest with you, the way it came across to me was like it's like a finders keepers type of like event, right? Like you see those people, it's like, I'm going to drop off a shirt, I'm on McCullum and whatever. And they're like, oh shit, type of shit. That wasn't the intent for this art, right?
Well, with my street art, I guess I've come up with this like philosophy as I create my street art. It's like when we see flowers blooming anywhere, right? Like we could take it in as like, oh man, like that's a cool flower. And if you really want the flower, just might take it for yourself and take it home. I'm not ever promoting like, hey, take these.
Fuck the flowers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's all, how people react to it, which is totally out of my control. But my intention is always for it to kind of live out in public for as long as it can. And, you know, I'd rather have people enjoy it for as long as they can. But those were all gone by like 4 p.m.
Were you pissed about that at all?
Well, no, because, you know, I put in a good amount of work into creating them, and they're not on like archival material. Like if you take care of it, like it's going to last a long time. But at the end of the day, it's spray paint and cardboard.
Right.
And so the fact that people like really cherish these things enough to, you know, turn around, do a U-turn in a illegal zone and you know, get out of their car and pick it up and take care of it. Like, you know, that means more to me, you know, that the fact that they get to put that in their home and tell people all about it, be excited about it. Like that's more than what I could ask for. And so I'm just not promoting it as like, you know, you find it and take it as soon as possible. But what I like to encourage people is like, hey, like if it's a nice day, you know, try to leave it up for someone else to see and enjoy. But if you happen to be at the right place at the right time and it looks like it's about to rain, like, you know, hey, you know, do whatever you're going to do. But at the end of the day, it's out of my control and people love them and people are excited about them when they get to like encounter one out in the wild. So now it's just making them a little harder to find and a little bit harder to get.
Right.
But right now I'm kind of like finding a direction to where I can navigate people to my website because I'm posting them online and I'm not even posting all of them online. There's a lot that I've just never posted that happen to stay up a little bit longer.
Right.
But right now I'm working on navigating people to my website. So if you visit my website, albertgonzalezart.com, go to artwork and go to the Wabi Sabi street art, you'll see, you know, a good amount of the ones that I've done in the past. And right now I'm kind of updating the catalog of what I've done. And so what I'm going to start doing is kind of giving people like a little preview, like a little snapshot to where you can't tell where it's at. And you would have to go to my website to see.
It's going to work. Yeah. It's going to drive traffic to the website for sure.
That's what I'm trying to do, man.
That's nice. Beans, real quick. This record button's red, but it's still going. We're good, right?
Yeah, it should be red.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. I've had some episodes that didn't record on my behalf, so I've been seeing this red dot, and I'm like, let me just triple check.
But yeah, my boy Jay Zuniga, like that dude is amazing. He actually just got back from Mexico. He was documenting the World Cup.
Nice.
FIFA had brought him onto their team, and yeah, he's doing amazing stuff. And now that he's back, you know, we're already talking about, you know, doing some other stuff. And so, yeah, now that I'm, you know, working even harder as a full-time artist, just trying to build like a small team of people that can help get those things done that I envision for the future.
Nice. And you can see if you flip back to me that I got some of your work right here behind me. It's been there from the jump, by the way. This is that's a Trebla art right there. And okay. Your name, Trebla. It was weird to me that I remembered this because, like I said, I was thinking about the jokester days and like the comedy days. And then I was thinking about the name. And then internally, I was like, I'm going to ask him what Trebla means. And then I remembered what it was. So I don't want to spoil it and say it, but can you tell the people, where did Trebla come from?
So the story of what happened or how it came to be is as I was starting my, you know, artistic journey, my career, I wanted to come up with an artist name for my profile. And I couldn't come up with anything cool, or at least something that sounded legit. And one day I was just writing my name, and then I started writing my name backwards. And I was like, Trebla. Man, that sounds cool. Trebla. And so I put that on my Instagram and started going by Trebla. And then eventually, you know, I got a little following on Instagram, and then I started running into people on the streets, and it always came up. Oh man, Trebla, what's up? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, what does Trebla mean? Bro, the look of disappointment on the people's faces.
No way.
When I would tell them like, oh, it's just my name backwards. They're like, oh, like,
I thought that was
That's
pretty
it?
clever, kind of.
Well,
Because it sounds dope, you know.
it does sound really
Right.
dope. But yeah, the look of disappointment on people's faces were
They wanted
were
a story, huh?
Yeah. And so it became an inside joke for me and my wife. And, you know, enough to where like we'll be together, we'll run into someone and she'll just give me that look like, oh, here we go. And so one night, you know, we have a bottle of wine and we're talking about it, laughing and stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm tired of disappointing people. I got to come up with something cool, something great. So where people could be like, oh yeah, that's good. Like,
That's the story. Yeah.
And so now, you know, back then I came up with an acronym. Time resolves everything, but love answers.
Give me a hell yeah.
Does that get a better response when you say that?
Oh yeah. So now I lead with that, and then I tell
But
them.
also,
yeah,
the origins of it.
yeah.
Nice,
But
man.
and now I'm working on like just branding Trebla as, you know, I've been kind of it is me. I am
sure.
Trebla, but as like a brand, I kind of am navigating to like, what does that look like as like a brand for clothing? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like uplifted and get a lot of positive energy from my art. And so it's like, how can I make that wearable? And so this is kind of like all.
I
product
really
of
think,
that.
and I'm glad that I think the pants could be a thing. I want to go back to the pants. I want to go back to the pants. I think the pants could really be a thing, man.
Well, I got you, dude. I'll come up with the design, and
I think it could be a
I got you with the first
Yeah.
official Trebla pants.
I mean, I'm just looking at it. Like, when you walk, I met you in the parking lot. I was like, God damn it, he has some drip today. And then I was like, I don't know, is he working? Is this like, because again, you had the shirt, you had the hat. I'm like, maybe this is just his thing. I mean, it kind of is. You kind of wore this to New York, you said, right?
Yeah, I wore this to New York. I had a workshop
That's
today,
dope.
a professional workshop at the community college district office, and like this is just like a part of my everyday attire.
Yeah.
So, like it's the most comfortable for me. I am kind of trying to think like, what does it look like if I like upscale it a little bit? So I have a few pair of slacks that I've been like painting on,
Yeah.
and still trying to keep them like nice and clean. So I'm like, okay, like what would it look like if I pull up to like a gala?
For sure, yeah.
You know, just
Nice button up with those.
yeah. So kind of playing around with that. I really would love to, you know, get into like fashion and stuff like that. But I think that's a little.
You're on your way.
It's a little bit more down the road because it's so expensive too. Like, you know, I could definitely do like recycled stuff, but I have some ideas for like dresses for women, blouses, and then I want to do like those like really nice like those like really comfortable button ups. You know, with that like I don't even know the material, but something you would wear to like the beach,
Right.
Or like, you know, a nice
Right.
Sunday afternoon.
I hear you.
I want to design like some button ups like that for
Hell yeah,
us
dude.
and stuff like that.
Nice. So back to jokesters, because I do want to talk about jokesters, the comedy aspect, right? What I want to know the whole story. Like, what made you want to do stand up, and then what made you stop doing stand up, and then I remember you had a story, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm not. You had a story about playing basketball. Are you able to tell that story today?
Oh man.
That was like your 5 minutes was this story, no?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that story of the basketball. Because I've been, well, let me go back a little bit to like why I started, you know, going up for stand-up comedy. It's something I always loved. You know, I grew up watching Eddie Murphy Delirious like religiously. Like that is one of my most favorite stand-up specials. And so I always thought Eddie's form of like storytelling, his voices, you know, you could just envision what that was like for him growing up. And so that was something I always loved. And so after high school, I had a couple of friends that would just like to go to like hookah bars and stuff like that. And one day, one of my friends was like, "Oh, let's go to the comedy club and just go like sign up and, you know, do whatever." And I remember I went up At that time, I was maybe like 21, and I had some funny stories of what it was like for me working at like Home Depot. And I got on stage and I actually got like a few laughs.
Mm-hmm.
And like that just made me so happy that I was able to get people to laugh, because my friends had went on before me and like it was dead silent. But like the fact that I got a couple laughs, got off the stage, and my friends were like, "Oh, dude, like that was dope." And I was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" Like, you know, not a lot of laughs, but hey, like
it's an adrenaline rush, right?
Yeah. And so that was like my first taste. And so I kind of tried going back. This is like a long time ago, like maybe like 2011, 2012. And then I never went back. Got busy with work. It wasn't something I was like truly passionate about, but something that I enjoyed. And then I started dating my wife. And then I have a really funny story.
I'm here for it.
I started dating my wife. She's probably gonna get a little upset that I'm telling this story, but it's really funny. It's just a part of like another routine thing, because it's true. I just started dating my wife. We were walking around downtown, and I run into Clifton Simmons, who I had met like again back a long time ago when I had just did a couple of open mics. Well, catch up. And he's like, "Oh, dude, I'm performing for, you know, the comedy battles that they do, you know, annually." And he's like, "Hey, man, like I'm performing in it. You know, if you could come through, that'd be amazing." And I look at my now wife, then girlfriend. I was like, "Hey, do you like stand-up?" "Oh, yeah, I love stand-up." I'm like, hell yeah, like this girl loves stand-up. Like,
yeah,
she gets more points, right? So we go walk around. We get there in time to, you know, get our seats. They sit us front row table, bro.
No.
Dead center, bro. And I'm like excited about it. I'm like, yeah, best seats, whatever, right? Everyone's killing it, bro. Like killing it. And then there's this one dude, I forgot his name, but he ended up winning best set of the night. He does this one joke. Kills. I'm like crying, laughing, bro. I'm crying, laughing. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so funny. Like, this is so great. And I look up at him and he's looking down like with this like disgusted face. And I'm like wiping my tears. I'm like, dude, like,
you killed it.
I'm laughing. I'm like, what are you looking at me like that for? And I look back up again and he still has the same look. And I look over to my wife and she's like clueless, bro. Like not even laughing. And I'm looking around and everyone's like, you know, just this laughing. And she's just pure like clueless, like trying to, you seen that meme of that lady like trying to do an equation and she's like, all confused. That was my wife.
What was the joke about? That she didn't, it just went over her head?
It just went like way over her head, right? Yeah. And so I'm over here just like, what's going on? Like, why isn't she laughing? And so I look back at the guy and I'm just like, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know what's wrong with her anymore. And so the rest of the night, I'm just like kind of, he was like one of the last ones. So like the rest of the time I'm like laughing, but kind of monitoring her and she's not laughing at all. So I'm just like, what's wrong?
Vibes are off.
So the event finishes and we're leaving the venue. RIP to the old Laugh Out Loud comedy at River Center. And so we're walking out and I look at her and I'm like, why weren't you laughing? She's like, oh, I just didn't think it was funny.
No way.
And I'm like,
strokes for different folks.
Well, then I told her, I was like, it starts hitting me like a movie where I'm like, okay, I didn't hear her laughing the entire show. Like I couldn't recall hearing her laugh. And then I look back at her, I'm like, did you find any of the comedians funny? And she was like, no. And I was like, oh my God.
Do you find me funny?
Yeah.
No.
But at that moment, I was like, I don't think I could ever go with you to a comedy show.
Yeah.
Ever again. And at that point, from that point on until, 4 years ago, I was like, I cannot go with you to a comedy show. And when Dave Chappelle had showed up, did those like pop-ups a couple years ago.
Yeah.
It's going to sound like an asshole, but my wife, she calls me and she's like, "Hey, Dave Chappelle's in town. You wanna go to a show?" And I'm like I would love to go see Dave Chappelle, but I don't know if I could go with you because I don't want to be at a Dave Chappelle show next to someone who's not laughing. But what I told her was, I was like, you know what, you're gonna need to redeem yourself because like until you could do something or tell me something genuinely funny that like you maybe tried to do other than like just doing something funny, I was like, then you get your chance to go to a comedy.
Get your pass back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we go on this road trip. My son's like 2.5. So it's maybe like four years ago. We go on this road trip and one of our stops is in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Yeah. There's not a lot of comedy clubs out there, at least from my experience. I was at this one hotel and I had asked them and they were like, yeah, there's nothing that we can direct you to. And so one of the guys at the desk was like, "Oh, well, if you like doing stand-up, like there's about like 10 of us here. There's like a little small stage. Why don't you just do a stand-up for us?"
No.
Yeah. And I was like, sure. Like if y'all have like 5 minutes, I don't mind telling y'all some jokes. And they're, "Oh, hell yeah." Cause it was like dead at the hotel. And so they got like some of the workers together and I did like a little 5-minute set for them and they were laughing. And I was like, hell yeah. Like one of the reasons why I love doing stand-up whenever I can is because like me and my wife have like such different sense of humor. And all that good stuff. And so like I'm constantly saying things that make her laugh. And there's a lot of stuff that I say too that she's like, "That's not funny." Yeah. And he's like, "Yes, it is. Like you don't know nothing.
You didn't even think that battle roast was funny. You don't know shit."
But I did the little set there and I had recorded it. And so I take it upstairs because she was upstairs at the room with our son. So I take it up to her and I'm showing her like, "Hey, look, I made people laugh. It's real." Like
I am funny.
Yeah. And we're listening to it. And then she gives me like some notes and she's like, "Oh, instead of saying this, you just say this." And I started laughing and I'm like,
that actually enhanced the joke.
Yeah. And I was like, "You got your pass back." She was like, "No way." Like, she was so excited because it was just so like random.
Right.
But I was like, "You're allowed to go with me to shows now."
Future comedy
And
events.
so one of our stops on this like month-long road trip was LA because we're out there visiting my dad and my stepmom and my stepsister. And so I got us tickets to the Best Of show at the Comedy Store.
Oh,
and
you've been to the Comedy Store.
Yeah, so we were able to see Jeff Ross and a whole bunch of other like really great comedians. And
that's tight.
That was our redemption show. And she laughed when we were there at that one. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, that's something that I love to do. Even though I don't get to do a lot of open mics still, I'm constantly like writing and coming up with ideas. And so I think that's going to be like the next chapter of my
Have
artistic
you gone
career.
since Jokesters?
Every now and then, like if my wife, I'm also really busy with this art stuff. And so my other joke is that I'm working really hard to be a successful artist so that I could be an unsuccessful comedian.
There you go.
And so I'm constantly writing, and whenever there is an opportunity to do, stand up somewhere, I try to like have that ready to go.
Shout out to my boy Gonzo. He has the Riot downtown. Have you been to the Riot yet?
Not yet.
Baller. And you can do some open mic there. A lot of open mics. Several days, I think they do open mic. So I want to dabble back into it too. I did the comedy over there too, and I probably did it for like 2 years. But I just got to doing the hosting, and I have a strong 5 minutes. But man, it's very time consuming.
Mm-hmm.
I was only doing it at Jokesters, and you've seen these comedians like Davey. What's his name? Is it just Davey?
Davey Jackson.
Davey Jackson, yeah. He was doing it at Jokesters when I was, and he was a newish comedian as well. But you could just see his hunger. He was going to this place, and then he'd go to Jokesters for a little bit. Then he'd bounce and go to this place, and then he's going to LOL. And I didn't really have that drive like a lot of these comedians did. And like I said, I have a family, and I was doing this, and I'm doing the podcast, and I was like, man, like something has to give, and that was something that gave for me. But I did really enjoy it when I did do it. I remember for sure thinking you were really one of the funniest ones on the list always, and you were one of my favorites on the list. So I'd get there, I'd look at the list, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, Albert's here. Like we'd chop it up, of course, and during that time I had the podcast, but I didn't have a studio, I didn't have a place for us to sit down. So this is, like I said, a long time coming to get you on, man.
That's a beauty of life, right? The serendipity of like the orbit, of our past, like cross and then come back together, and it's always like reciprocated, like positive.
But
energy.
since then, like I said, since you were doing the open mics at Jokesters, probably like 2021, it's probably been 5 years easy. But now look at you and look at, man, I'm telling you, this brand, this Trebla brand, man, it's taking over. We talked about your movement with the Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about how did they contact you? How did it go? The ESPN thing. I've been dying to talk about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, man. That was like just, maybe like 3 days before we actually shot that segment. I got like a late night DM from the producer. And initially it was just supposed to be B-roll footage that they were going to capture of my mural. And he was asking if he could get permission or if it was okay for me to, sign some papers to give him permission to shoot my mural. And I just kind of kept asking questions like, hey, like there's a story behind the mural. It'd be cool to maybe get that footage or, do an interview. And, it took a lot of like back and forth, but he was able to kind of pitch the idea to like higher ups and get them to kind of green light, interviewing artists that were doing murals. And so, they say, closed mouths don't get fed. And so I felt like I turned a B-roll footage opportunity into like an actual on-camera experience. And so I was able to actually plug in one of my other friends, Bacon, who's another muralist in town, and they were able to interview him and get his work involved. And then my friend Mikey Sanchez, who's another amazing artist, he already had a connection with them, so he was already included in that. And so, and from there, it kind of like took off. And so many people now, especially when I'm wearing my shirt, after the playoffs, people are like, "Hey, like, were you on TV?" I'm like, "Oh yeah." "Oh, I recognize the shirt," and they just tell me how much they appreciate the mural and especially the shirts. And so, they were a limited run. I think I'm going to select one design or one colorway of this T-shirt and kind of sell that throughout the year, and then drop like some like exclusive limited edition, colors.
Hell yeah, man.
Give me a hell yeah.
Oh man, that's a beautiful thing about collaboration too. Like you said, you get the opportunity, you open up doors for other people as well. And I'm sure like they were obviously really grateful for that as well. Just the fact that you gave them that opportunity, that light. And I think, man, not enough people in San Antonio do that. And it's people like you that keep light on the city. And I think that's really important for everybody to, like you said, just get a shot, get a swing at bat. It's no fun if not everybody's playing. So I commend you for definitely, like I said, putting everybody down on that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I'm always just trying to build bridges, dude, because like there's San Antonio is such like a big city and such an amazing culture. I think the people of San Antonio have like an amazing reputation, compared to like other parts of the country, and people feel like they could let their guard down and just kind of just chill here. And I feel like that's what we experience when we see all this tourism and New Yorkers, being friendly and just, taking the time to talk to someone for like 30 minutes. And I feel like San Antonio is one of like the few places on this earth where you could just talk to a random stranger and, maybe become good friends off of just like a random street encounter. But that's just like the beauty of living in a place like this is like, the culture of the city. And as an artist, as creatives, my boy Sheck, shout out to Sheckenberg with San Antonio Street Art Initiative. He used this analogy of like the artists and the creatives of the city being like the anchor of culture, and how like as the city changes and people move into our city, it's like waves kind of picking up the sand of culture.
Right.
And, you know, things are moving around and they're drifting, but yet like the artists are the anchor holding all that stuff down. And so we got to kind of stick together to kind of keep holding it down. But as we kind of grow and evolve and, you know, do other things, it kind of deteriorates that anchor. But we got to be responsible for it and maintaining it, because, you know, once that anchor is dissolved, we see what it looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like other cities, like Austin, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, meeting people that live there most of their lives and saying that how drastic it is compared to, you know, 5 or 10 years ago.
For sure.
San Antonio, thankfully, you know, we say 10 years ago in San Antonio, we've changed pretty drastically, but not enough to where it's like unrecognizable.
For sure. Night. We got to keep holding it down, man.
Yeah. Hold it down.
Hold it down.
POP.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's just been seriously beautiful to see what you've done with your career. Like I said, the art exhibit's been crazy. Like just that you can go inside somewhere and just see all of your art is unbelievable, man.
Dude, you got to come out. Have you been to the new studio?
No, I think it was kind of where was the Vivid signs? I think not Vivid, Viva signs. Or
Okay,
whatever.
that's the
Neon.
South Florida's.
I've been to that one.
Okay, so
Near
the
that
new
one.
so the old one, that one was like 600 square feet, maybe like 675. Our new studio, 2,200 square feet. Yeah. Yeah, we turned the old automotive shop into our studio / gallery.
Boom.
And so the whole the whole workshop area of the automotive shop is now our studio. And then we turned the waiting room and the hallway to the restroom into like our little gallery. And then now we have like a true office. And so currently we're working on putting central AC unit in there. And once that's installed, we're going to start doing a bunch of like really cool events. Me and my partners, Grace and Adon, we started an event called Southside Cinema. And so what we do every couple of months is we turn the studio into like a pop-up cinema.
Nice.
And we showcase local filmmakers. And so far we've only had 2 events. Our next one's coming up on September 26th. And so we're currently working on like sponsorships and marketing details and all that good stuff. We're about to do an open call pretty soon. But we're really finding ways to like utilize the space in like really creative new ways.
Yeah.
While also creating more platforms to showcase not just paintings, but more forms of art.
Man, there's this movie. It's a local guy. I think his name is Avid Season on Instagram, but has some of you might not know these rappers, but Ice Villa, Eliza 1K, Chingo Bling. There's several people, but it's like a local movie filmed right here in San Antonio.
Nice.
And man, something like that would be fucking filthy, dude.
Yeah, I'll need to find him and reach out to him.
No, it would be filthy.
Yeah, the films that we've had so far have been great. We've done short films. We did one feature film by another amazing filmmaker named Andrew Gonzalez. He shot this documentary called American Sons. And it's about a fallen soldier who was in the Marines.
I've seen it on Instagram.
Yeah, and so that was our first like showcase. So we had some short films, and then we highlighted that feature film. And
Nice.
yeah, we're showing some really amazing talent here in the city, and that's just like one of the few ways that we're utilizing the space.
It's crazy because like some of the like your art is becoming like prestigious, you know, like only the who's who has it in San Antonio. As you can tell, your boy got a piece behind me. But like you see on Instagram, like Bam Rodriguez, right? Like he'll post a picture of his living room and you don't, I don't even see none of it. What else is going on? You just see the Trebla piece right then and there. I'm like, that's my dog,
shout out to
man.
Bam, dude. I'm so proud of that dude.
Oh,
that dude is killing it. I can't wait for his next fight. I
love
seeing that
Bam,
dude
man.
fight.
Love Bam. He's, I mean, when you're talking about one of the top 5 best pound for pound boxers in the world.
Yeah.
In the world, Craig. Top 5 in the world. Bam Rodriguez, top 5 in the world, Craig. And he's from San Antonio, Texas.
Yep. knocking
Bam
him out.
Rodriguez knocking motherfucker. I want the Inoue fight ASAP. We're gonna bring like the gold. We're bringing everything right back to San Antonio. And I would love to have Bam Rodriguez in the seat. I got to see what we can do about getting Bam in the seat, man.
Yeah, I know, dude. Yeah,
That would be huge.
I want to see. Well, I got to reach out to him, and you know, I would love to, you know, find a way to sponsor because I would love to get a Wabi Sabi patch on his fight or on his boxing shorts for that fight.
I mean, he fucks with you apparently, right? Like
Yeah.
that should be. He definitely he don't open my DMs, but he might open yours.
Yeah, no, he was a cool dude. So when I had a chance to like hang out with him in the studio, like it was just really cool getting to know him and kind of learning more about like his story and how he got into boxing. And yeah, it was just really cool to
His
be able to have a
brother's
studio
dope
visit
too,
with
man.
him.
Yeah.
And so, you know, he's one of my collectors, and you know, being an artist, it's been just a really beautiful experience because I find myself, you know, in spaces and events where I'm like, oh shit, like I'm
that dude, baby.
I'm really here sharing, you know, a table with so-and-so, or, you know, I a couple of years ago, I had a studio visit with David Robinson and David Robinson Jr. And like,
Whoa.
I'm there sitting in my studio, just chopping it up with David Robinson. And I'm just like, damn, like I was like, this dude is like one of my idols. Like I grew up, my number in basketball, whenever I played sports, was always number 50. And like to be sitting in the room with him, and it was just like a surreal moment.
That's what when you were talking about like how you're the orbit, right? Like when paths cross, it's crazy because I get that same moment here. And like, excuse my French, but without sounding like a dick rider, right? Like these are people that I've idolized for, like, when I tell Chingo Bling, like, bro, like I remember vividly my brother buying your mixtape and like me riding with him. He's 4.5 years older. And like ostrich boots, like I remember these moments, and he's in this seat, like going backstage, and Paul Wall giving me a birthday shout out. Like, bro, you are my motherfucking idol. Just a few months ago, I had a Murphy Lee here, like better up. Like these are like, what are we doing here, guy? Like Mike Jones has been on the podcast. Fluffy's been on the podcast. I'm trying to just think, like, there's been some crazy people on the podcast. Albert Gonzalez has been on the podcast. Like, this has been crazy. But yeah, it's crazy to me that you get to like have these moments in life. And to me, it doesn't even feel real sometimes. It's like, man, like I'm trying not to like pretend like I'm nervous. I'm like, hey, what's up, my guy? Everything all good? I'm nervous as hell, man.
Yeah, dude, it is surreal, man. And it's cool you said that too, because I mentioned that in my workshop. You know, someone asked about like what it's like being an artist now, and someone that, you know, I told a story about how back in the day, if someone would have said, oh, I like that painting, I would have told you like, oh, you know, whatever you want to pay me, like, and it's yours. And then this lady was like, well, how much does your art go for now? And like, I didn't want to like just say a price, but I was just like, well, this is how much I was selling my art for my very first solo art exhibition. I said, I need to conduct myself professionally. And so I needed to have like a specific pricing standards, right?
Right.
And so I started off by selling my work for like 20 cents per square inch. And so right now I'm roughly at like $4.35 to like $4.45 per square inch.
And that's crazy that there's even a scale for art. Like when you're saying this, I'm like, God, I didn't even know like that could be an equation for some sort of amount for art. That's wild.
And I did a lot of research when I was kind of trying to figure that out for myself. But I landed on, you know, I got to start at square one and then kind of build my way up. And that's what I did. And I stuck with the plan. And just like anything that we want to achieve in our life, like we come up with a game plan, take little baby steps to make it, you know, achievable and feasible. And like, you just go after that because, you know, eventually you're going to have an opportunity to take a big stride, and you could succeed or you could fail, but you got to keep going.
You tried it. Yeah.
And that's all I've been doing since, you know, day one of making the decision to quit my job and go all into my art.
What were you doing prior to going full time?
I was in coverage determinations for the CVS pharmacy back office. And so my responsibility was like when someone got a prescription from the doctor, it was my job to go through their contract for their insurance to make sure that they were covered for that medication. And if not, it was also my responsibility to kind of do the research and find the off-brand that they could be prescribed. And
nice.
I was just sitting in front of a computer in a little cubicle and getting paid pretty well. But
you have all this talent that needs to be exposed.
Well, yeah. And so that was the last job I had because I ended up quitting, like on the spot. And, I'll never forget, I had this moment, this dream the night before of me being an artist.
Like an actual dream.
One of the most vivid dreams I ever had in my life.
Wow.
And it was me being an artist, living in this like really cool mountainside cottage in like Germany, and realizing that this was my home. This was my life. Mm-hmm. And then I go to explore outside, and just like a movie, it's all like bright white lights. And then I wake up in real life, rush to work in real life.
Had to go back to CVS.
Yeah, I had to go back to CVS, and
reality set in.
And I had that adrenaline rush, like when you're running late. And I go and sit in front of my computer, turn it on, an error screen pops up, and I feel that energy, that adrenaline leave leave my body from like the top of my head all the way down to my toes. It felt disgusting because like I felt like I could have done something with all that energy. And right when I, decide that I'm just going to start doodling to kind of pass the time because I just wanted to take my mind off of that experience. Right when my pencil touched the paper, my manager kind of taps me on the shoulder. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm going to write you up." Like that was our little inside joke because I was always drawing on the job. And he was like, "Oh man, like you're going to be the first dude fired on the job for drawing too much.
You keep writing your name backwards, I'm going to fire your ass."
Yeah. And that was just like our inside joke. And so we always kind of play around like that. But on this day, this morning, after waking up from that dream, he says that same joke that I've heard, a lot of times. And at that moment I got up and I'm like, I quit. Like, I can't do this no more. I got to be an artist.
Wait, was he like, whoa, we're supposed to be boys. I'm just kidding. This is our thing. Like,
yeah, no, he's like, "Oh man, you sounded like you were like for real, dude. Like, that was good. That was good." And I was like, "Nah, dude, like I'm serious. Like I quit." And then he leans in and he's like, "Hey man, like maybe you just want to like give me your 2 weeks notice or give me a letter of resignation. So like
you're
in case it doesn't work out, you could just come back." And I was like, "Nah, man, like I gotta leave right now." And then I hear all these squeaky chairs moving around, and I turn around and all my coworkers are like leaning out of their cubicle, just like, "Nah, like can't believe this." And I end up leaving. And at the time I was at my mom's house. I was living at my mom's house. My roommates bailed on me. I was in this like really negative, difficult circumstance. And my mom was charging me rent. Like my parents have always been like, "Oh, you're gonna live at home. You're gonna pay rent. You're gonna pay something." Yeah. And so my mom wasn't gonna be like, "Oh, mijo, you want to be an artist? Forget about rent. Don't worry about it." Like, nah. As soon as I got home and I ran into my mom, she was like, "What are you doing?"
Bills are still.
And that was the first thing. I was like, "I'm gonna be an artist," and she was like, "You still gotta pay rent, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," but they reminded me that that was maybe a decision that could have waited, and maybe something that could get me gas money or extra money to save up on the side, but maybe wasn't the best option for a career.
Right.
But I kind of from there I stuck with it, made a lot of sacrifices, and kind of just continued to take baby steps forward, and found myself couch surfing and staying at IHOPs and their booths, drawing till 4 or 5 in the morning, so I was able to get on the bus again, and occasionally stay at my mom's sofa and friends' sofas, and just woke up every single day to live paint wherever I could. Wherever there was a crowd, that's where I wanted to be. And normally my normal spot was when they started doing the construction downtown on the River Center Mall. It used to be Macy's entrance, and now it's like a Dave & Buster's. But back then, the construction gates, I would lean all the way into them, pushing them back as far as I could to get some sort of shade from that roofing. And that's where I would be set up.
Damn. Look at me now, Mom. I made it.
Yeah, man, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of sacrifices, a lot of failures, a lot of times where, there was days where, my goal was to make at least $5 a day, and that was enough to buy a 1-day bus pass and a cup of coffee at the IHOP. And there were a lot of days where I couldn't even make that, but I stuck to the script of what I told myself was going to help me be successful, and I made every sacrifice to continue to go down that path. And here I am today. I'm doing some pretty crazy stuff in my career.
God, yeah.
And I owe it all to that version of me that almost 11 years ago, of just kind of having that vision and saying I'm going to do whatever I need to do to continue down that path.
Back to that dream though, because I think dreams are crazy. Where did you say you were living in that dream?
Somewhere near the Black Forest in Germany.
Okay, so Germany. Do you ever believe that that's another like reality in your realm of like I'm in the belief that we're in a simulation. Like if we are, like you think somewhere there's another Albert Gonzalez that made it even bigger than you are now, and you're living out in Greece and just like killing it over there?
If that's the case, I feel like like our dreams are tapping into like that other reality, that other simulation. Mm-hmm. And so, because it was so vivid that it was like I have to make it happen,
right?
Or if not, it's happening somewhere, and I need to be a part of it. And so, like these vivid dreams are life changing for me, and I do whatever I need to do to like go down the path of the direction that I believe that end goal is at. And, I had another dream that started the Wabi Sabi series. I had seen some Henry Matisse color cutouts in person for the first time. And the night that I get back from this trip from Philadelphia and New York, I have this dream where these colors are floating down from the sky. They're like pieces of paper, large pieces of paper, and they were all floating down from the ceiling, and they all land on this canvas. And then the canvas, once all the colors are done floating onto the canvas kind of rises up, and I see this painting, but without the black outline. And then I look down at my feet, and I see a black bucket of paint and a big paintbrush. And then I get the paintbrush, I dip it in the black paint. And then when I look up to start painting on the canvas starts like flying away from me. And it's like standing up, but it's just going like really fast, kind of like an anime type thing where it's like standing and it's just like, and I start running after it. And the more energy that I have of like wanting to paint, the faster I start to run, and I start to like catch up to the painting. And then finally, like I'm like right next to the painting. And right when I'm about to start doing the black outline, I wake up. And so the next morning I wake up and I tell my wife all about this dream. I sketch it on a napkin, and I'm like, I got to go paint this. And then I spent like 15 hours in the studio that day. I went and bought like the same size canvas, the same brush, colors, and I spent like 15 hours in the studio that day, and I painted the very first floral piece of the series that is now Wabi Sabi series, and that's now in the UTSA art collection, and it all kind of stemmed from that one painting that really changed the trajectory of my career, because now I'm on number 1,413
Jesus
in the series.
Goodness.
And they're like pollinating the world, no pun intended. I have, a collector in England. I have a collector in Ireland, South Korea. They're kind of like all over the place. And I couldn't imagine.
That's crazy.
10, 12 years ago, I couldn't imagine being where I'm at today. And right now I'm currently working on like some really big things. And one of my biggest pieces of my career so far is currently in production. And I'm pretty limited to like what details I can give on that, but it's way bigger than a car. Yeah.
Goodness, what? You can't leave us off with that. Whoa.
I think I could give the size.
Is it going to be featured somewhere?
Yeah.
Here in San Antonio?
Yes.
Okay.
20 feet by 9 feet.
Bigger than a car for sure. Yeah.
And so that should be, they're going to do like a whole marketing campaign once like all the details are able to like go out. There's a whole PR team and stuff behind it, but that's what I've been working on this whole like maybe like 9 months. I've been working on
new
this
project Marvel.
No.
Oh shit.
No, but they need to hit me up though. They need to hit me up though when they start planning that out. So
hell yeah, they do. That'd be fucking filthy. When I was thinking, I was like, that would actually be nice, man. Like a little Trebla, right? Where
I want to do like a sculpture. I want to put this out in the universe. I want to do like a stained glass looking sculpture that could be like in the middle of like a grassy area around some flowers. And I want to curate it to where it aligns with the sun in a specific way. So like if you want to have lunch in a really cool like outdoor dining area that's like partially shaded, you want to have lunch at this specific sculpture so that you can interact with the light that the sculpture is like producing, or like the stained glass or acrylic panels. And I imagine like flowers and tables kind of surrounding this thing so that people can really engage with the sculpture.
Awesome,
but
yeah.
I'm putting it out there. So Spurs, anyone attached to that project, y'all hit me up and I'll give y'all the rendering.
Man, so yeah, other than that, like I said, before I get you out of here, anything you can share? I know you said you're going to run with the shirts for next season. Anything that you have already in motion that you're excited about?
Yeah, I'm currently working on a body of work for my upcoming solo exhibition in September at Northwest Vista College. So I'll be sending you an invite for that show. And right now, this month, I think on the 27th or 24th, but the Briscoe Museum, I'm actually going to be featured in my first museum group exhibition this month. And yeah, it's over at the Briscoe Museum. I'm really excited about that. And yeah, just kind of working on my writing for different film ideas that I have, working on art, doing my street art thing, and just kind of staying productive, being active in the community.
I got to ask you a quick question. Have you ever heard of a song from Usher called Confessions?
Mm-hmm.
These are my confessions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? I have a confession.
What's that?
These are my confessions. Man, I'm throwed and I don't know what to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so you follow me? Okay. We're going to do this. Hey, we're going to do this. All episode, I've had a confession.
Oh.
And I've been waiting till the very end of the episode because if shit goes south, if shit gets weird,
I'm going to storm out.
We can kind of just dead it, you know? But I just feel like it needs to be said. If you walk out of this room and I don't say it, I'm going to have regrets for not saying it. And I just need to say it. And I think it was the perfect storm, right place, right time. And just so you know, I felt guilty as fuck about it initially until I spoke to you just now. So these are my confessions. Listen, I'm driving down Grissom Road, minding my own fucking business.
Was it on a Sunday?
Hey, I'm driving down Grissom Road, minding my own motherfucking business, okay? I ain't up to nothing. I'm just driving down Grissom. And what do I see? And may I remind you guys, it was a rainy day. It was raining. And I saw one of Trebla Arts Spurs cutouts. And the first thing I thought of was, I didn't even see the Instagram. I didn't see none of this. I swear to God. I saw it and was like, oh my God, that's Trebla shit. I pull over and it was just attached with Velcro. And in that moment I said, these are for the taking. And so I remember my son was with me, by the way, and I'm ripping it off this thing. And he's like, what? I'm like, we're boys. And that was that. And so then I saw on TikTok, some guy was like, oh yeah, I just, got this Trebla art, yada, yada, yada. And then I think you commented on there and was like, well, they weren't intended to be taken, but, and then I was like, I'm going to have to keep this in my closet. I want that shit right here for the record.
Yeah.
I want it right here.
Put
and
it
I was
right
like,
there.
I'm going to have to keep it in my closet now. And then I'm going through all these things. I can tell them I bought it on Marketplace. Like, what are we doing here? Maybe I can just say like I stumbled upon it. But it's a flower that wants to be shown.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't grab it, the rain was going to ruin it. So I want it right there. And do I have your permission to have it right
be honored
there?
for you to put it there. And I'm actually glad that you have one of those. Those are very special.
Give me a hell yeah.
Very, very special.
It's one of the absolute dopest pieces in my house, but it's in a closet. I can't even stunt. I can't even flex. I'm like, so when we were talking about getting on the podcast, I was going through the agenda. I was like, I don't know. Did I mention it? Did I not mention it? Like, do I kind of beat around the bush? And if you would have been like, fuck those people, man. They're fucking hoodlums. Them fucking hell no. I'm going to fucking break some bones. I would have been like, oh yeah, them pieces of shit, bro. But it really was though. It was one of these moments where I was like, it's on. Like next time put a fucking chain on there or something. Yeah. Like it was on Velcro. And I was like, I got to get this. And I got it. And like you said, that adrenaline rush to an adrenaline. I was so excited. Spurs are in the playoffs. We're rolling. I'm a newly fucking Spur fan. I'm like, hell yeah, this is fucking awesome. And you're like, yeah, not the intent. And I'm like, well.
No, it was a perfect storm, literally, because like those things are, again, when I put them out there, it's whatever happens. But the fact that it was raining and people took all of them, I was like, okay. It worked out the way it needed to work out. But I'm glad you have one though, because I want those to become iconic for like the Spurs making it to the playoffs.
Right.
And so you're only going to see those cutouts during Spurs playoff runs.
Nice.
You're not going to see them before or after. You're only going to see those around the city during Spurs playoffs. So I want those to become like iconic. When you see those around the city, like, that the Spurs.
It's time, baby. We're rolling.
But yeah, I'm glad you have one of those. I'll sign it when you put it up.
Oh, that would have been sick.
Yeah, no.
I should have packed it just in case.
So there's only like 5 of those that are signed.
I don't know about signed. But.
Yeah, so all the other ones, they're all unsigned, and so you can't just get them signed anywhere. But I got you. Once it goes up, you let me know, and I'll sign it for you.
That'd be dope. Trebla Arts, ladies and gentlemen. Albert Gonzalez on Instagram. Listen, I'm dead serious when I say this. It's like, it's the best artwork. I'm gonna go on the limb and say the best artwork in the city. If you see it everywhere, by the way. Like it's like when you see like I got a Tesla and like I never used to see Teslas. Now I see them all the time, right? Like you'll see his art throughout the entire city. It is incredible. Go get a shirt. How else? Like I said, go to the website. Check out the gallery. There's so much about Albert that makes him freaking awesome.
Yeah, sign up for my email list. I'm doing like some really cool exclusive stuff only for my newsletter and stuff through my website. I'll still be posting on Instagram, but I'm really focusing on curating it and navigating people to my website because I'm going to be doing some like really cool stuff.
Perfect.
And so, like you can learn more about what my series is about. Wabi Sabi, it's embracing the Japanese culture. Flowers are intended to represent us because we're not perfect. We're perfectly imperfect. And so there's like a whole meaning behind it. And so you get to read the artist statement and learn more about it. And, maybe you want to collect some art. Maybe you want to buy a print, t-shirt, or maybe do a custom painting, a commission, and all the details
if you want
on my
his
website.
Pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trebla Arts, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, super, super proud of you to see where you were and now where you are, and super excited to see where you're going to go. And I know, like I said, this is, and it sounds crazy because it's not, but it's kind of just the beginning for you. You're still making this art. You're not going anywhere. It's just going to get bigger and better and like I said, this 20 by 9, right? Like this is something that I will be looking forward to in the future. I can't wait. Everybody go to his Instagram, follow him on Instagram, super dope follow, support him any which way you can. If you see his artwork, you know, you might want to ask for it. Yeah, I'm like, fuck with you guys. On Wax the Podcast, San Antonio's #1 podcast. It's your boy Jay Hen. I got Albert Gonzalez in the building with me. We out of this thing, man.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey, yo, it's your boy Jay Hen, and I got some very exciting news for you guys. If you guys like to have fun and you like to gamble, and maybe you can't always afford to go to Vegas, don't worry about it. I got you covered. If you're in the San Antonio area, you must visit Rustler's Club, located off 410 and Ingram Road. Follow them on Instagram for more information at Rustler's Club SA, and let them know On Wax sent ya.